After all the rain that caused the postponement of last night's game, we have a gorgeous day to play baseball. And today there'll be a doubleheader between the Cubs and the Dodgers. Stay with us for all the excitement coming your way in a moment.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN. Brought to you by Beechwood Aged Budweiser. For a clean, crisp taste you won't find in any other beer. This Bud's for you. The Stars of Chicagoland, your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers. Electric Avenue Montgomery Ward, the store for great prices on brand name electronics and appliances. Pepsi, drink Pepsi, get stuffed. Aflac, insuring over 38 million people worldwide. And by Southwest Airlines, celebrating 25 years of low fares, frequent flights, and fun.
Hello again, everybody. Harry Caray with Steve Stone. Wayne Larrivee will be with us a little later on. Well, we're finally going to play a beautiful day after all the rain of last night.
And Harry, it'll be interesting to see if Ramon Martinez can come back with the same stuff he came back with last night, because he had the warm-up, then he had 2 hitters, and he's starting the first game today against Amaury Telemaco. Mike Campbell started last night. He got rocked in the first. Telemaco probably will have better luck in the first inning.
Well, there's still no decision. Undecided is going to pitch the second game. All right, a beautiful day. The crowd's slowly gathering, and we're ready to play baseball in a moment. Harry Caray with Steve Stone and Wayne Larrivee at Wrigley Field. We're all set to go with the Delino DeShields ready to lead it off. Amaury Telemaco shooting for his 4th victory. The pitch a little bit inside.
This is the Dodgers' first look at Telemaco. Last time out against San Diego, he got a no decision, but the Cubs won the game 6-3.
There's a strike call. Larry Vanover's the plate umpire. We'll give it the lineups and the umpire's alignment in a moment. Strike 2 over the outside corner, another good slider.
Well, last night in the first inning, after 2 were out, the Dodgers had a couple of home runs and 4 hits and scored 5 runs.
A little bit low, inside, ball 2, strike 2. We're in the first inning of the first game of a doubleheader. Got nothing to do today? Come on over. A lot of time to see a lot of baseball. It's only 12:30 now. You're probably just going to lunch.
And the wind is blowing straight out over the center field scoreboard. So another lively day at Wrigley Field with high temperatures, high humidity, and a very brisk wind as Tommy Lasorda looks out at his first place Los Angeles Dodgers.
2-2 pitch. Line drive. Great play by Hernandez, who leaps high in the air. 1 away. The lineup for Tommy Lasorda, DeShields, who just landed out, Cedeno and Piazza. Karros, Mondesi C, Blower, Hollandsworth and Castro playing short with Ramon Martinez on the mound. The Mountain Dew defensive alignment for the Cubs, Gonzalez, McRae, and Sosa. There's a pitch inside. And we have Gomez playing third. Hernandez is short, Sandberg at second. Magadan at first. Here's a high drive over Sosa's head. And here goes Cedeno racing for second with a double. Boy, the first 2 hitters have hit the ball hard.
Roger Cedeno is normally a better hitter from the right side, but he puts a charge into this one. Sammy Sosa going back, and the ball drifts over his head. He reaches up at the last instant. The ball goes by him. and it winds up as a double. So for Cedeno, the 9th double of the year. And watch the play by Jose Hernandez to lead off the ball game, and this saved a run.
1 out, 1 on, and here is Mike Piazza, who started their 5-run rally, which turned out to be unrecorded. There's a bouncing ball. Fair. There's the throw to first in time. Gomez. A fine bare hand stop and throw. And he beat Piazza just 2 away. Here's Eric Karros.
Well, you don't like to see this bare hand pickup, especially with Piazza going down the line, but that's exactly what Leo did. And he's able to corral it and get it across in plenty of time. So 2 outs here in the first.
The umpires, Larry Vanover behind the plate, Brian Gorman at first, Harry Wendelstedt at second, and Randy Marsh at third. There's a slider outside. Karros hitting .240, 11 homers, 38 RBI. Got away to a bad start, but he's hitting now. Hit off the end of the bat, foul. Boy, that was it right off the end of the bat, and it was about a foot foul. Magadan tried his best, couldn't get to it.
From the Southwest Plainview camera, we'll take a look at Karros, completely fooled. Just squibs this ball off the end of the bat. He's trying to pull it and just barely misses a double.
1 ball, 1 strike. Telemaco. He swung and he missed. That was a high, hard one that time.
Well, a good slider low and away now will probably get Karros if you keep it down. If you get it up and away, that's the ball he rifles into right center. Let's see if Telemaco can hit the spot, and if he can get it by Karros.
Lined at foul. Kristen Yerke and Billy Adams Jr. are the Montgomery Ward celebrity bat girl and bat boy today. And another youngster, Jerron Melman, son of Rich Melman. We'll talk about a little bit later. Threw out one of the pitches today before the game. Struck him out. The Cubs are already way ahead of last night. 1 hit, 1 left, no runs, no errors. We go in the bottom of the first, no score.
At Michelin, we believe a tire that's just good in the rain isn't good enough. Introducing the Michelin X1 with a 6-year unlimited mileage tread life warranty. It gives you better wet traction than any rain tire and Michelin confidence in any driving condition. It has to, because the way we see it, you don't just cover a lot of miles, you cover a lot of weather. The Michelin X1.
Hi, I'm Ryne Sandberg for Chrysler Plymouth with another astounding Cubs coincidence. July 24th, the Cubs get a steal. Hours later, a Chrysler Sebring convertible was purchased in Chicagoland, and the purchaser also got a steal. Chance? Not a chance.
This amazing alignment of baseball stars and terrific cars was brought to you by the Stars of Cubbyland, your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer.
Harry Caray back at Wrigley Field. Here is the Mountain Dew starting Chicago Cub lineup of McRae, Sandberg, and Gonzalez, Sosa, Magadan, and Gomez, Servais, Hernandez, and Telemaco. And the defense for the Dodgers will be Cedeno in left, Hollandsworth in center, Mondesi in right. Blowers, Castro, DeShields, and Karros. around the infield. Piazza behind the plate. And Ramon Martinez is on the hill. Martinez in his lifetime has beaten the Cubs 6 times, losing to them twice.
I look for Martinez to not have quite as good a stuff as he would have had last night. Now, he took the full warm-up last night. He faced a couple of hitters, and his last relief appearance was in 1988.
There's a base hit in the center field. And McRae last night started it with a double off the right field wall, which also was rained out. Now singles to center.
Well, the reason why I mentioned his last relief appearance, because after a full warm-up yesterday, as you watch McRae taking it right back through the middle, I got to believe that coming back with a full warm-up today, Martinez is not going to be quite as sharp. This man's been a full-time starter now for 8 years, and he's not used to taking 20-minute warm-up 2 days in a row. So let's see if the Cubs can take advantage of it early.
Here's Sandberg hitting .223 with 13 homers. And there's a fastball over the outside corner, strike call. Marco Olivares was Jim Riggleman's able right hand. His mother, Julia Gutierrez from Puerto Rico, here celebrating a birthday, 82 today. Julia Gutierrez.
Somewhat surprising, Martinez has held left-hand hitters to just a 148 batting average, but the right-hander's hitting .354.
Swung and he missed. Or may have tipped the ball foul. 0-2. A runner at first. Of course, McRae is a threat of stealing. He's already got 22 stolen bases. Only been thrown out twice. A little bit low ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You got to figure the Cubs are going to try to run on this combination. The Dodgers have seen 65 successful stolen bases, and they've only thrown out 14 would-be base stealers. That's one of the worst percentage in the major leagues.
Now Ramon. We're throwing a first runner back. Prior to the start of the second game of today's doubleheader, Jack Brickhouse will conduct a tribute to Chicago 16-inch softball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Martinez breaks his contact with the rubber. Among the 5 individuals from softball who'll be honored today, Jim DeVito, organizer of the Windy City Softball League, struck him out with a breaking ball. Sandberg goes down swinging, 1 out. Here's Luis Gonzalez hitting .274, 4 homers, 32 RBI. Ed Zonia, Z-O-L-M-A, Zona. Manager and pitcher, the 12-time world champion Bobcat. Bob Campbell, known as Mr. Softball. Al Mogg, founder of Chicago's 16-inch Softball Hall of Fame. And Rich Millman, famous Chicago restaurateur who consistently fields the best teams in Chicago. His team, Lettuce, owns 2 national titles. They'll all be honored along with Jack Brickhouse between games of the doubleheader.
Well, you would expect with the left-hander up in this situation that you would see McRae going. You usually don't see 1-0 pitch-outs, and McRae has extended his lead by 1 step. Let's see if he's going here.
There he goes. The pitch is swung on. He's going to have to come back. And there's a catch by Cedeno. Pretty well hit on the warning track in left center. 2 gone, and Brian McRae has to return to first base. Here's Sosa.
You don't see it real often, Harry, but I like to see in a base stealing situation, especially with a 1-0 count, a man take a pitch to allow the base stealer to steal his way into second, especially with the Dodgers, who have had so many difficulties throwing out base stealers, and with McRae among the best in the business. You just kind of help him out by swinging at the pitch, and now Brian at first with 2 outs.
Well, because it's been great if you've gotten a base hit. 2 out, a runner at first. Strike, a bullet. I tell you, Ramon Martinez, if anything, looks much sharper today than he did in the part of the first inning he pitched last night.
You can see opponents have been successful over 80% of the time, and it's not all the fault of Mike Piazza, believe me. A lot of it has to do with the pitching staff and their inability to hold runners close.
Hot shot, knocked down by Blowers. The throw to first. He's out to end the inning. Nice stop by Blowers, who threw him out. So 1 hit, 1 left. At the end of 1, no score.
Introducing the Michelin X1 with a 6-year unlimited mileage tread life warranty. It gives you better wet traction than any rain tire, plus control in any driving condition. After all, it hasn't rained that much in years.
Work boots. Tough on the outside, tough on your feet inside. Not enough cushioning. Dr. Scholl's Maximum Comfort work insoles give you 100% more cushioning. They make work easier on your feet.
Got no shirt, got no shoes, got no coat, so got me the blues.
Hey, that's because you got no Pepsi.
Now the more Pepsi you drink, the more stuff you get from the new Pepsi catalog.
Got no mansion, got no yacht.
This might be the end of the blues as we know it.
Drink a lot of Pepsi, get a lot of stuff.
Visit your participating Sears store and register to win at the Pepsi display.
1 loan, 1 payment each month, and nothing more.
Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
If you're like most homeowners, you're paying a mortgage, several credit cards, and an auto loan each month. That's why the Money Store introduced the combo loan. With a combo loan from the Money Store, you can refinance your mortgage and consolidate your bills. You'll have 1 loan, 1 payment, and write just 1 check each month.
Plus, the interest can be tax deductible.
1 loan, 1 payment with a combo loan from the Money Store. Call 1-800-LOAN-YES.
Harry Caray with Steve Stone and Wayne Larrivee as we go into the top of the second. You know, I've been trying for 2 days. We got rained out last night. We lost a great in broadcasting the other night when Mel Allen passed away. I've known Mel so many years. Hadn't seen him in a year or so. I'd heard he'd been a little ill. And you never think of a guy passing away until it's all over with. To his family, our sincere condolences and sympathies. A tremendous broadcaster indeed. He was truly the voice of the Yankees. When they let him go, their attendance got so bad, they had to sell the team to CBS. The pitch a little bit low and outside. Mondesi, who hit a 3-run homer last night. Mel used to win these Sporting News award, best announcer in the American League. And I would win it in the National League for 7 years. And one of the tobacco sponsors got the idea of teaming us. And I had an opportunity. I turned it down to stay in St. Louis, where I was born and raised. Struck him out. And Kurt Gowdy joined Mel instead. Worked with Mel a few years and then went on to Boston. And of course, he too has had a great career, and fortunately he's still alive.
The Southwest Airlines Plainview camera, take a look at a good slider. This one low and away from Mondesi, who is very aggressive and wild swinger, and he's no match for that slider.
There's a curveball in there. Blowers hitting .235, 4 homers, 28 RBIs.
Telemaco can probably get the fastball inside on Blowers, a lot like he did to Karros to end that first inning.
Pitch inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Blowers has good power to right center. And he has some problems getting the hands out on occasion.
You know, Steve, I think everybody knows Rickey Henderson has hit more leadoff home runs than any other player in history. But the most he ever got in 1 year was 9. Do you know Brady Anderson of Baltimore already has 8 home runs leading off the ball game? There's a drive. It may get by. It does. Gonzalez chasing it to the wall. Blowers on his way to second with a double. That's the second 1-out double the Dodgers have had.
Well, this one really exploded over the head of Gonzalez. Blowers is very strong. And this one is down and in instead of up above the hands. And Blowers opens up, drops the head on it, and rifles it 1 hop against the ivy. Gonzalez does a nice job of getting it in. There's a late slide at second base. This is a way to hurt yourself. Blowers goes in, slides very late, and he's lucky he didn't jam his ankle on the play. So for you youngsters, make up your mind to slide early, and you won't turn an ankle or twist it at the bag.
Now here is Hollandsworth, and he showed some power last night. After Mondesi had hit a 3-run homer, Todd Hollandsworth hit a 2-run homer. Neither one will count. The game was rained out in the first. Swung and he missed. 0-2 the count.
This is their first look at Telemaco, and it's the first time they'll see that changeup, which is a good one. The slider, which is also a good one, and they'll be able to gauge the speed of the fastball, which is good but not overpowering. So the first time through at least should be to the advantage of Telemaco.
Now ready. A high pop fly in foul territory will be caught by Leo Gomez.
Cub fans, stop by any Chicagoland Dominick's, make a purchase, and get an officially licensed Cub jacket made by First Pick Sports, a division of Starter. For only $39.95, you can pick one up or choose a Cubs cap for only $7.99. At these prices, these authentic, officially licensed product won't last long. Qualities are limited, so visit your local Dominick's today.
Here's Juan Castro, the shortstop from Los Mojos, Mexico, hitting .203, just 24 years old.
Martinez not much of a hitter, and Castro's really struggled. You still have to be a little more careful with Castro, especially with first base open.
Wide, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Castro, 24 years old, 5'11", 160 pounds. Ryan Klesko of the Braves hit his 22nd last night. He's tied now with Sammy. Here's a pitch, foul back. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
With Greg Gagne on the disabled list, Castro getting an opportunity to show his very good defensive skills at shortstop. He's got quick hands, very good range to either side, and a strong throwing arm.
2 men around, a runner at second base. High, ball 2, 2-2. We're in the first game of the doubleheader, a doubleheader necessitated by the rainout last night. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. High fly ball will be caught. Brian McRae to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit. We go into the bottom of the second, no score.
Pedigree Little Champions is perfect for my Little Champions.
All the beef in Little Champions has gone through the USDA inspection process. The proteins contained are high quality, and they're the building blocks for good nutrition.
Pedigree, developed with vets recommended by top breeders.
Energizer introduces the world's first on-battery tester. Just press the dots to make sure your battery will keep going and going. With a battery like this, we don't really need a big-time celebrity.
Budweiser.
We're jamming. I wanna jam it with you. We're jamming, and I hope you like jamming too.
My greatest moment as a Cub, doubleheader against Montreal, 3 home runs and 10 RBIs.
Had to be June 29th, 1969, when they had Billy Williams Day out at Wrigley Field.
My greatest moment was in 1968. Cubs beat Cincinnati to go into first place. We hadn't been there for a while.
Greatest moment.
Haven't had mine yet.
Energizer introduces the world's first on-battery tester. Just press the dots to make sure your battery will keep going and going. With a battery like this, we don't really need a big-time celebrity.
Let's pause for station identification.
This is America's #1 sports station, WGN-TV, Chicago.
Harry Caray back at the ballpark. Dave Magadan takes the strike. Swung and he missed it. You know, Ramon Martinez pitched a no-hit game last July, and he had a perfect game until he walked Tommy Gregg on a 3-2 pitch with 1 out in the 8th. That's the only man who got on. He struck out 8. And that was the only no-hitter in the majors last year. And it was the 19th in Dodger franchise history. Boy, they've had great pitchers down through the years. You know, Rick Sutcliffe, while breaking in with the Dodgers, was Rookie of the Year. There's a pitch a little bit low and outside. They've got 4 in a row Rookies of the Year. Piazza, Karros, Mondesi C, and I guess, yeah, Nomo. Hideo Nomo, the great Oriental pitcher. Struck him out call. Magadan called out on strike.
And that one looked to be outside from the Southwest Plainview camera. We'll take a look at a changeup. Piazza has to go outside to get it, and that was about 3 or 4 inches off the plate, and there is a Southwest Airlines Plainview camera high atop Wrigley Field. There's Hideo Nomo. Man who's had a pretty good year this year to go along with a Rookie of the Year season last year.
Leo Gomez takes a pitch over the outside corner, strike call. Just to show you, though, even a guy as great as Martinez has become, Ramon, started out winning 1, losing 3 with the Dodgers. Then he won 6 and 4. The best year he's ever had was in 1990. He won 20, lost 6. Last year he was 17 and 7.
And this is Leo Gomez's first look at Ramon Martinez, except maybe in an assorted spring training.
1 out, nobody on. The pitch, a little bit outside. And I'm reminded of Greg Maddux. He, too, was the same way after coming up as a young rookie. he kind of was rather mediocre the first year or two. Whoa, boy, that almost hit him. And then he suddenly blossomed out as a great pitcher. And Ramon Martinez is the best of the Dodgers. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Outside, ball 3. Look how tall Ramon is. He's 6'4". His brother Pedro is only 5'11" with Montreal. 3-2 pitch. There's a high drive into left field, into the corner. It is out of here. Holy cow. That ball seemed to have a curve on it. It looked like it was going to be foul. Cedeno ran over towards the foul line. And Tommy Lasorda can't believe it. And Leo Gomez has hit his 11th home run of the year. And the Cubs lead 1-0. How about that?
Only the 3rd home run given up by Martinez. And that was a towering fly ball. The wind pushed that ball. It didn't hook. It just kind of drifted, wound up in the basket. And the Cubs on top 1-0.
Your service now. A little bit outside. You know, looking at the flags, it doesn't seem as if the wind is much of a factor, but the way that ball acted, it must be. 1 ball, no strikes. A little bit outside. Well, the rooftops are not as heavily populated as there's Leo Gomez. It's going to be a long day. A lot of people just coming into the ballpark. Ground ball. Castro up with the throwing in time.
We'll take another look at it. It's a 3-2 fastball. It's low and in, and Leo turns on it. Cedeno thought he had a shot. He goes back as far as he can go. The ball is drifting, and you see the wind take it. It goes to his left and in the basket.
Leo Gomez has practiced that shot all for a month. He really did get good one on the pitch, though. I thought it was just going to curve foul. 1 ball, no strikes. Bouncing foul by Hernandez. Hitting .203, he has only 1 home run, but that's to be remembered because he hit a home run in the bottom of the 9th to win a ball game. 356 feet, says Arnie. How do you measure that? I don't believe you're correct. Well, on second thought, it's 355 feet down the line. And it landed in the basket. There's strike 3 call. 3rd strikeout for Martinez. However, 1 run, 1 hit. Nobody left. At the end of 2, the Cubs lead 1-0.
Dig the hole, dig the hole, dig the hole.
Catch the tail, catch the tail, catch the tail. Bite the light, bite the light, bite the light.
Take a lesson from the dog. Focus on the simple things and you'll be happy.
Find a fare, find a fare, find a fare.
It's Southwest Airlines' new take-along fares. Buy a full unrestricted fare to any nonstop city and take along up to 3 people for only $25 each way. Only 1 day advance purchase required. But hurry, offer ends June 12th.
Find a phone, find a phone.
There's something going on at Burger King this summer. Something spectacular. Something extraordinary. Something exciting. Something magical. Because this summer, we're welcoming some very special friends from Disney's newest movie, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Heroic Quasimodo. Beautiful Esmeralda. Brave Phoebus.
What a woman.
Lovable Hugo. All your favorites from this classic adventure. Your kids can collect all 8
characters. A new one each week. One with every great-tasting $1.99 Kids Club hamburger meal. Come for the toys. Come for the food. Come for the fun. There's a party going on, and you'll want to get in on the excitement.
All right, all right.
Experience the action and thrills of Disney's The Hunchback of Notre Dame in theaters. And join the celebration. It's big, it's huge, and it's only at Burger King.
Pedigree Little Champions is perfect for my little champions.
All the beef in Little Champions has gone through the USDA inspection process. The proteins contained are high quality, and they're the building blocks for good nutrition.
Pedigree, developed with vets, recommended by top breeders.
Harry Caray with Steve Stone and Wayne Larrivee as we go into the top of the third. And Ramon Martinez, a good hitting pitcher, will lead it off. He's won 4, lost 1 this year. Swung and he missed. He's hit a home run in the major leagues before. He's had 1 out of 14 this year, striking out 10 times. There's strike 3 called over the outside corner. And strikeout number 3 for Telemaco. The Aflac trivia question: how many times in the Cubs history have they hit at least 150 home runs and stolen 150 bases in a single season? One strike and nothing on Delino DeShields. Pitch a little bit low. Florence Muir, a longtime Cub fan, and Mitzi are watching the Cubs game today in Green Lake, Wisconsin. Two balls and a strike. A little bit high.
Well, you have to be careful with DeShields, who does show occasional power. He almost hit the ball out of the park last night, and he's looking dead fastball, 3-1.
There's a shot foul into the stand. Marco Aguirre, son of our famous chef Abraham. Did they tell? We never advised that.
But they had to bring the boss.
Here's the pitch, foul tip.
In a one-run ball game, you don't want to walk DeShields. Probably best to keep the ball away from him. He is the most prodigious base stealer on this team. Stolen 20 bases, been caught 6 times. Second best runner, Hollandsworth, who's stolen 10.
DeShields pops one for you now and then. He's hit 3 homers this year. Ground ball sharply hit up with a Sandberg over to first. 2 away. And that'll bring up Roger Cedeno, who's doubled his first time up. Marco Aguirre, while his dad Abraham is chef of the Harry Caray's downtown, Marco is the chef out in Wheeling. Here's the pitch bunted. Will he get him out? Better hurry. He's out. So Cedeno, who can fly, is thrown out. Telemaco to Magadan. We go in the bottom of the third, 1-0 Cubs.
Okay, world, everyone's got to add something to the party. Mexico, you've got the salsa. Tahiti, sunsets, about 2 weeks worth. France, ooh la la, we'll get back to you, France. Greece, you're off the hook. You started the whole thing. Malaysia, yeah, some of those. Norway, you're in charge of the ice. Us, we've got the Bud. The Bud World Party during the '96 Summer Games.
At
Michelin, we believe a tire that's just good in the rain isn't good enough. Introducing the Michelin X1 with a 6-year, unlimited mileage tread life warranty. It's the one tire that gives you better wet traction than any rain tire, plus control in any driving condition. After all, it hasn't rained that much in years. The Michelin X1.
It's not hard playing Illinois Lottery instant games, but it can be hard picking one.
It's a lottery ticket. Pick one.
Got a second? Play these new instants.
If a Cub player hits a homer today, write the distance, date, and your name. Send it to WGN. You can win tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination. The Andy Griffith Show, on deck weekday mornings at 6:30 on WGN Channel 9.
Harry Caray back at Wrigley Field. Here's Telemaco leading it off. He's 0 for 11 as a hitter, looking for his first big league hit. He's behind on the count, 0-2. He's fanned 7 out of the 11 times. Maybe those numbers will bring him a little luck right here. Curveball into the dirt. Piazza, a good pickup. We're in the first game of a doubleheader. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Oh, to be that age and know what I know now. Here's the pitch a little bit outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody on, nobody out. Struck him out. Strikeout number 4 for Ramon Martinez. 1 out. And here's McRae, who's singled in the first. The Cubs are very much better off than they were last night at this time. Last night we're waiting for the rain to stop and the Cubs are behind. Whoa, there's a smash in the right field. And McRae stops at first base. You know he's not going to challenge Mondesi.
Well, including the double last night, which won't count, Brian McRae is starting to swing the bat pretty well, and he's going to see that batting average start to climb. A couple of ringing base hits and 2 at-bats. And now we've got a man who can steal a base in a base-stealing situation.
Here's Sandberg. Struck out his first time up. Hitting .223, but 13 homers. 36 RBIs.
The Cubs come into today's action 2.5 games in back of Houston. Houston rallied last night to defeat Cincinnati 5-4. Jeff Bagwell with a 2-run double in the 7th. And that should come as no surprise. He's driven in 67 runs this year.
Whoa, what a dead he balked, yeah. He balked, and he knew he had balked, too. And so did McRae know, because he suddenly stopped.
This is the first balk of the year. Right there, he starts to pitch and then steps off when he sees McRae start to head to second base, and that's all it took.
Now a base hit picks up a run, in all probability. Not that way. Blowers throws him out. From Blowers to Karros, 2 out. Here's Gonzalez. Flying out. He drove Cedeno back to the warning track and left center. 1-0 in favor of the Cubs.
On the surface, this would look like a good matchup because Martinez throws a lot of low fastballs, and that's what Luis likes to hit. And Luis had very little luck career-wise against Martinez. Just 4 for 24. But Luis swinging the bat a little better, looking for something out of way that he can drive to left or left center field.
Martinez pitch. Strike over the inside corner. They like to move the ball around on Louis a lot, in, out, in, out. I guess they do that, though, the most hitters. 0-1 the count. Outside. The first pitch caught the inside corner. This pitch way outside. Both low. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 away. Swung and he missed.
Well, you'd expect him now to go to the changeup because that's his best weapon against the left-handers. He threw the fastball in. That was a slider low and in. And Ramon Martinez has one of the better changeups around. He doesn't get a lot of credit for it, but it's a dandy, and it usually sinks low and away to the left-handers.
As Frank Castillo had finally entered the winning ranks again. Outside, 2-2. Yeah, boy, those hitters kind of flinch when they take a pitch a little bit outside. They don't know whether it'll be called a strike or not by Larry Vanover. He seems to have a pretty wide strike zone. Into the dirt, there goes a runner trying for third. Wild throw, and here comes another run in. An error on Mike
Piazza commits his 4th error of the year. It'll probably go as a wild pitch. And that's exactly what it does. So on a balk, a wild pitch, an error on Piazza, the Cubs have their 2nd run.
Oh, that was really a wild throw, too. Swung, and he struck him out. So the Cubs pick up a run. 1 hit, 1 error. Nobody left. Wayne Larrivee is all set to take over. Harry Caray from Wrigley Field. We're at the end of 3. The Cubs lead 2-0.
Wouldn't it be nice to really get away? Southwest Airlines makes it easy with take-along fares. Buy a full unrestricted fare to a non-stop city just 1 day in advance, and up to 3 more can come along for just $25 each way.
On vacation again?
So make some real plans with Southwest take-along fares.
Hi, I'm Ryne Sandberg for Chrysler Plymouth with another astounding Cubs coincidence. August 3rd, a Cub hits a powerful shot to the gap. That same day in Chicagoland, a woman drives a powerful Chrysler Sebring to a clothing store with a similar name. Chance? Not a chance.
This amazing alignment of baseball stars and terrific cars was brought to you by the Stars of Cubbyland, your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer.
Bringing Chicago to your computer. WGN TV on the web. www.wgntv.com. Wake up with Bill Weir Sports.
Always wanted to do this.
Bill Weir on WGN Morning News.
Good gig, huh?
Weekdays from 7 to 9.
Welcome back to Wrigley Field in Chicago. Wayne Larrivee, Steve Stone, Harry Caray, our producer-director Arnie Harris. Well, Steve, the Cubs take advantage of a wind-blown home run by Leo Gomez and then an error by Mike Piazza to take a 2-0 lead.
And Amaury Telemaco is making it hold up. So the Cubs, who got a break last night, being 5 runs down, seeing it rained out, have come back today in the first game of a doubleheader, and they lead, and now every game's a big game for them.
Absolutely. Most doubleheaders, as you've mentioned, are usually split, so you'd like to get out and get the first game and then go for the sweep. This is Piazza leading things off here in the top of the 4th. Bounces out to Leo Gomez, 1 away. That brings up Eric Karros. Karros, a strikeout victim in the first. And he lifts it high but foul on the first base side. Dave Magadan gives it the courtesy, and it's about 4 rows deep. So no balls and 1 strike on Eric Karros. Steve, there are a couple of things that have happened with the Dodgers since last we saw them. When we saw them last back in April, this was a ball club struggling offensively and defensively. And they've improved greatly in both areas, especially the meat of the order. Mondesi and Karros are beginning to hit now like we know they can hit.
Well, the Dodgers still well down offensively. They still haven't scored a lot of runs. In fact, only the Florida Marlins have scored fewer runs in the National League than the Dodgers.
Fly ball into left field. Luis Gonzalez back near the warning track makes the catch, and they're 2 men down.
The Cubs encourage all fans to arrive early for great savings on food and beverages at Wrigley Field. The first hour the gates are open. All foods and drinks, excluding alcoholic beverages, are discounted by 25%. From ballpark franks and pizza to Pepsi and ice cream, all food and beverage, excluding alcoholic beverages, are 25% off the first hour the gates are open at Wrigley Field. So get here early.
Here is Raul Mondesi as you get a look at Tommy Lasorda taking it easy. Kind of a lazy summer day in the dugout of the Dodgers. Mondesi a strikeout victim in the second. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, the Dodgers now have a half-game lead over San Diego. That's 7 games difference from June 1st until June 18th. So they've really closed the gap. They have now taken the lead as the Padres continue their struggles.
A look at the standings. Hey, the Rockies only a game behind. 1 ball and 1 strike the count of Mondesi. I believe that foul tip got Scott Servais. Take a look at this against right-handed pitching. Dodgers just under 240. And there's a right-hander, a rookie right-hander on the mound, Amaury Telemaco. Most impressive aspect of Telemaco, in my opinion, Steve, is his presence on the mound. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, Wayne, I think we saw it in his first game when he went out there without the good slider, and that's his best pitch. And he still was able to win the game against a very tough Atlanta team. So he's shown that he can go out there with less than his best, with 2 of his 3 pitches, and still keep his team in the game.
Left side. Oh, under the glove of Jose Hernandez. Mondesi a big turn at first, and it's an error on the shortstop.
Well, it's going to go as a base hit.
Base hit on that. They did. You're right.
And I think it'd been very difficult with the speed of Mondesi to throw out Raul at first base, even if Hernandez comes up with it, because he's going to have to take a step or 2 into the hole before he could get the throw off. So it does go as a hit of the infield variety. And so Mondesi aboard with great speed, but not really a prolific base stealer at this point. He's stolen 7 bases, been caught 4 times. He'll get better at it. But there are not many guys around faster than Mondesi.
Hits are even at 3 apiece as Mike Blowers comes to the plate. He doubled in the second inning. 2 out, runner on first, and the pitch is in tight for ball 1. There is Mondesi, stolen bases. Still learning how to, I guess, really pick up the move of the pitchers.
Well, you have to have a key if you got a right-hander on the mound. Either key off the back leg or the front shoulder, and a lot of guys have a harder time doing it than some of the great base stealers.
The 1-0 pitch, and that's in there for a strike called. It's 1-1.
Now, if you're Blowers, who doubled off an inside fastball in the second, you're probably looking for the ball away, and that's the pitch that he likes a lot more. Base stealers off Telemaco, 2 for 4.
Mondesi at first, being held on by Magadan. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch a little low, and it's 2-1.
After a big year last year, Blowers was thought to be a big RBI producer here. It hasn't turned out that way early. Last year he drove in 96, but he was right in the middle of a very productive Seattle lineup in a very small ballpark.
2 balls and 1 strike. And the count runs to 3-1. Blowers Had a 7-game hitting streak going earlier this month. But in his last outing against Atlanta, 0 for 2 with a couple of walks. He walked last night and scored in that rain-shortened ball game, but those figures don't count. Back toward the middle, Sandberg up with it. His only play to first, and it's in time to get Flowers. So Ryne Sandberg turns it nicely to Dave Magadan to retire the side. And as we head to the bottom of the 4th, it's still a 2-0 Cubs lead.
Introducing the Michelin X1 with a 6-year unlimited mileage tread life warranty. It has better wet traction than any rain tire, plus Michelin control in any driving condition. Because you don't just cover a lot of miles, you cover a lot of weather.
Work boots. Tough on the outside, tough on your feet inside. Not enough cushioning. Dr. Scholl's Maximum Comfort work insoles give you 100% more cushioning. They make work easier on your feet.
Mighty Mike, Axe on contact, this I know, cause that tingle tells me so. Mighty Mike, new Mighty Mike, stops the itch and cools the burn, penetrates to kill the germ. Athlete's foot, don't let it win, stamp it out with Micah 10.
Okay, boy, now just like I taught you, I want you to open the cooler, and I want you to get me an ice-cold Pepsi. Good boy, good boy. Maybe later we'll play Frisbee.
Hey, you got another one of those for me?
I love this dream.
Visit your participating Sears store and register to win at the Pepsi display.
Introducing the Michelin X1 with a 6-year unlimited mileage tread life warranty. It has better wet traction than any rain tire, plus Michelin control in any driving condition. Because you don't just cover a lot of miles, you cover a lot of weather.
Well, as Alice Cooper once sang, school's out. And those kids are right where they should be, at the ballpark watching a doubleheader. How many times in Cubs history have they had at least 150 homers and stolen 100 bases in a single season? The answer was 6. Sammy Sosa, Dave Magadan, Leo Gomez to face Ramon Martinez. Sammy swinging at the high heat for strike 1.
What a wonderful play by Sandberg. He's probably nowhere near that ball if Mondesi is not running, but he's running on a 3-1 pitch. The ball looked like it might have skipped off the bag. Sandberg stayed right with it. Threw out Flowers at first base, and what an effort that was to get out of the inning.
No balls and 1 strike on Sosa.
Well, Sandberg breaking on the pitch. He's going up the middle. Normally he wouldn't be here, but the ball does hit off the bag, and Sandberg with the slide stays right with it and fires across to get him. That's an outstanding effort on a ball that would normally have been in center field.
And with Mondesi running, he probably would have scored. Home run leaders, well, Sammy Sosa topped the list. Rodriguez has been stalled around 20-21 homers lately. Sammy down to the count, 1 ball to 2 strikes. Henry got off to that great start. What did he set, a National League record in the month of April for home runs? Henry Rodriguez, something like that, or close to it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Outfield straightaway and deep, the infield the same. Sammy hits it on the ground, left side. Juan Castro, the shortstop. 1 away. So 1 out for Dave Magadan. As Sosa heads back to the dugout. Magadan struck out in the 2nd inning. Cubs are leading 2-0. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning and the first of 2 here at Wrigley Field. Imagine some people will be making their way up here from Grant Park.
You made your way up here from Grant Park.
That's right, from the Bulls rally.
How many people you figure were down there, Wayne?
Somewhere in the, I would have to guess Over 150, I would think. 150,000 or thereabouts.
They're making a little noise.
I didn't think the crowd was as big as previous rallies down there, because this rally was held in the middle of the morning, essentially 10:30 basically, and a lot of the you know, business people obviously couldn't get out for it, but there was still a huge crowd of people down there. 1 ball and 1 strike. A swing and a miss by Magadan, and it's 1-2. And of course, I'm a bad judge of crowds. I guess the attendance anywhere. I'm usually wrong. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count on Dave Magadan. Pitch taken outside. It's 2-2. You know, we were talking about the rain out last night, the second Cubs rain out of the season here at Wrigley Field. Brian McRae was saying if we could play in that weather we played in April against the Dodgers, we could play in anything. And of course, that was sleet and wind and cold. Magadan hanging in there at 2-2.
This is the first doubleheader for either of these teams. The Cubs will have one more on the rain out of the Atlanta game when the Braves come to town for their final trip. This is the Dodgers' final trip to Wrigley Field this year.
2 balls and 2 strikes. And the count fills to 3-2. And of course, after next week, once we head out to San Diego and LA, that'll be it for those 2 Western Division teams on the Cubs schedule.
Do you think at this point, Wayne, it's possible that Jerry Krause will get his just due as the architect of that wonderful Bulls team?
Well, you know what? He got a tremendous amount of cheers down there when he was introduced this morning, and I thought that was great. Pitch is lifted foul and out of play. And the other thing I don't understand, I don't for the life of me understand how a Chicago sports fan can boo Jerry Reinsdorf. How can you do that? With the team he's put together, the organization he's put together on the South Side in baseball, which is outstanding, and with the Bulls, probably, arguably at least, the best sports team ever produced by this great city. I don't understand that. And there was a small, I'd say a relatively small smattering of boos when he was introduced this morning. But I don't know. I guess if you're an owner, you just can't win, right?
Well, it's hard to me to figure out also. Certainly they both deserve a lot of credit. Most every move that Jerry Krause has made has turned into gold as far as the Bulls are concerned, and what a job he's done. It's fairly easy to put together the mainstay on most any team, but it's the periphery cast of characters that really go to make a ball club, and the Bulls were certainly as good as anybody and better than most everybody in that department. Jerry usually has to fill in between seasons, add a player here, a player there, and the addition of Rodman this year, of course, and a few guys off that bench really made a huge difference.
Well, you know, if you take a look at it, if you went and tried to trade a Bill Wennington or a Steve Kerr or a Judd Bushler, what do you think you'd get for him? Anything? Probably not. But in this system here, they are very important players and they fit very well, and I think that's a testament to them and to the system that Phil Jackson is running, and the fact that Jerry Krause was able to put those people together. It means a lot. I mean, yeah, there's Jordan, there's Pippen, and there's Rodman. Those are 3 of the best players at their position ever, but the other players go a long way to making or breaking you. Popped up by Leo Gomez. This might be playable. No, it's not. 3 rows deep. Piazza gave it a look, and he comes up limping a little bit.
Well, you might remember seeing that shot of Mike Piazza sliding into second base in Philadelphia. I don't know if he's entirely healthy. I got to believe that knee's still giving him some problems. But he knows exactly how important he is to this team as the heart and soul of that offense. And so on the first move, Mike Piazza really doesn't come firing out of that stance. And I got to believe that he's still not 100%. Certainly good enough to play, but he's still feeling the effects of that slide.
1-2 pitch. Called strike 3. A little too close to take, and Leo goes down. 6 strikeouts now for Martinez. 2 men down with a runner on first. How important is Piazza? Well, the Dodgers have the worst on-base percentage in the National League. Mike Piazza is 3rd overall in the National League in on-base percentage. This is a very important man in what they do offensively. He's had a 16-game hitting streak. He is leading the National League in batting average. Scott Servais grounds this one foul on the left side. Piazza also is 4th in the league in multi-hit games.
Well, Piazza's on-base percentage is .435, which shows you, one, that he'll have the patience on occasion to take a walk when they pitch around him, but also that he's quite a hitter. The team on-base percentage is .306 coming in, and that's just terrible.
No balls and 1 strike. Again, Magadan down at first, and here's the pitch to Servais. He fouls it back against the screen.
Cubs facing a pretty tough customer today. Ramon Martinez 6-2 lifetime against him, although the ERA is a bit over 4. And so far, Amaury Telemaco has made the 2 runs he's been given hold up.
Karros holding on the runner at first. 0-2 the count on Scott Servais. He lays off that delivery outside, and it's 1-2. Scott Servais has been in and out of slumps since the month of April, which was one of his best months. He did go 2 for 4 Sunday after going hitless at his previous 5 games. Was 0 for 19 at that stretch.
Let's see if Scott looks away. That's probably where Martinez will go.
The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. It's dropped by Piazza. He's up with it, throws to Karros to retire Servais and the Cubs here in the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left on base. The end of 4. It's 2-0 Chicago.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN is brought to you by the Stars of Chicagoland, your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers.
Now at Pep Boys, get a $5 rebate on all Raybestos Pro Stop lifetime brakes. Car, truck, import, or domestic. That's $5 back on Raybestos lifetime brakes. You'll never have to buy brakes again. Pep Boys, everything but gas.
Rust-Oleum, the ultimate defense against weather.
At Michelin, we believe a tire that's just good in the rain isn't good enough. Introducing the Michelin X1 with a 6-year unlimited mileage tread life warranty. It gives you better wet traction than any rain tire and Michelin confidence in any driving condition. It has to, because the way we see it, you don't just cover a lot of miles, you cover a lot of weather. The Michelin X1.
This is it.
He's out of there!
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
That was only the first out of the game.
Make it a Bud Light.
That's a real beaver?
So you think just anybody could be one of Charlie's Angels?
I just hope I can measure up.
Think again. Charlie's Angels. Weekday mornings at 10 on WGN.
Wayne, I'm going to steal a couple of minutes of your time. This is Buck O'Neill. What brings you back to Chicago?
Well, and I'm pushing a book, my autobiography. I was right on time. I'm trying to sell this book, Harry. I need your help.
You know, Ryne Sandberg asked if it didn't seem strange to you to see lights, and you said you'd seen lights here before.
Yes, I saw the Harlem Globetrotters play the ball game right here in the middle of this diamond. That was in the 50s.
Was Arnie Harris the publicity guy?
Yeah, sure. He sure was.
You have a big crowd?
Oh, we had a big crowd. We made a lot of money.
Hey, listen, Buck, I know some of the guys you played with and you've known. Your book must be tremendous. I wish you'd send us all a copy.
Don't worry, you'll have them.
I'll sell it for you.
All right, you will have them,
okay.
Harry. It is always good to see you, Harry.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, Wayne, thank you very much.
All right, Harry. Buck O'Neill, look for his book coming out this summer. Another great baseball book. 3 balls, no strikes. The count on Hollandsworth, that he's walked on 4 pitches. It's only the first walk issued by Telemaco here this afternoon. We're in the top of the 5th inning in the first of 2 here at Wrigley Field today, and the Cubs are leading by the score of 2-0. And the young shortstop Juan Castro comes to the plate.
The title of Buck O'Neill's book is I Was Right on Time.
Yeah, he was for the top of the 5th inning. Castro has started 20 games at shortstop, including the last 19 straight. And he takes a pitch up high for ball 1. So Telemaco losing the plate here.
And you would figure that Castro, not being a very strong hitter, as Fergie Jenkins coming out after 5 straight bad ones, you would figure Castro would take a strike.
And Fergie Jenkins out to the mound. Yeah, you would figure he'll take a strike here in this situation. Castro is playing for the injured Greg Gagne, who's been on a rehab assignment in Albuquerque. Gagne a sprained left ankle on May 23rd. Well, it's a Bulls kind of day. I imagine that youngster came up here from Grant Park. Oh, and the rain held off beautifully. There was a forecast of showers all morning, and it just held off perfectly. Jerry Krause had a great line. He said everyone said it was going to rain on our parade. It didn't rain on our parade this morning. There's a strike hit. It's 1-1. Castro started the Dodgers triple play in the 1st inning Saturday with his over-the-head catch of a blast off the bat of Chipper Jones. He threw to DeShields to get Grissom at 2nd, and DeShields went on to Karros to triple off Lemke at 1st. It was the Dodgers' first triple play since 1949 in Brooklyn, when Eugene Hermansky, Jackie Robinson, and Gil Hodges teamed up for a triple play on April 26th. Boy, Hodges and Robinson, those were legendary names from Flatbush. One ball and 2 strikes. Nobody out. Hollandsworth aboard at 1st.
Well, Hollandsworth has pretty good speed. He's stolen 10 bases, been caught 4 times. He will be the next Dodger candidate for Rookie of the Year if he can start heating it up. Hit a towering home run last night, but like everything else last night, it didn't count.
The 1-2 pitch. Line drive into left center field, and this falls for a base hit. Hollandsworth on his way to 3rd, and the throw comes in toward 2nd base, and the Dodgers have runners at the corners and nobody out.
You would expect Ramon Martinez, with just 1 hit in 15 at bats, to be laying one down. And he's got 2 sacrifices. And Castro hits this ball off the end of the bat, hits it in a perfect spot. Hollandsworth with good speed, easily able to go to 3rd base. Still runners at the corners, and now nobody out.
Cubs are leading 2-0, and Telemaco in a tight spot here. Some movement down there in the bullpen. I wouldn't call it action. Bottenfield and Myers take a seat on the bench down there.
You would think that Martinez would be trying to bunt it up the right side, make Dave Magadan field it.
No secret here, and he bunted it off Scott Servais.
Well, the one thing catchers hate to see is a pitcher fouling off a bunt, because more times than not, when they do, it's going to come right back into them. You can see the head of the bat dropping, and it's right off the right foot of Scott Servais. He continues to take a tremendous beating behind the plate.
He got hit in about the only spot where he had no protection on his lower leg. Isn't that something? Isn't that how it always is?
It seems to always find it. And he's going to take a slow walk to the mound, trying to walk off the effects of this.
No balls and 1 strike, meanwhile, the count. Runners at the corners for Tommy Lasorda's Dodgers, who trail 2-0 here in the top of the 5th inning.
Castro does not have very good speed. All of last year, he stole 4 bases at AAA. Does not even have a stolen base attempt this year.
Gomez in on the grass at 3rd. Magadan holding on the runner at 1st. Martinez squares to bunt. Telemaco with the double look, 1st to 3rd, then to 1st. No balls and 1 strike. And he pulls the bat away. It's 1-1.
This is not the best bunting technique you'll see for all you youngsters out there. Martinez is dropping the head of the bat. He doesn't put it out in front of the plate and keep the head of the bat up. That's what you'd like to do. So he shows a lot of movement. That gives you the possibility of a pop-up.
Bunts it out. A beauty. Servais up with it. His play is to first, and coming home to score is Hollandsworth. So a squeeze brings home Hollandsworth. A safety squeeze as he waited till Servais committed to first base.
Well, this is not real good execution on the part of the Cubs. They don't even think about Hollandsworth. Servais goes out and he throws to first. Ryno drops his head, and in dropping his head, he never sees Hollandsworth streaking home. So excellent execution by the Dodgers. Ryno drops his head to look at the bag and never even considers that Hollandsworth would try to score. He does, and it cuts the lead in half.
So one out with a runner still in scoring position. Juan Castro out at second base. Top of the order, Delino DeShields, and he looks at ball one.
That'll go as a run batted in for Ramon Martinez. That's his first of the year.
Castro off second. Laced past the diving Dave Magadan into right field, a base hit. Castro going for second. Now they have Castro in a rundown. They could also get Castro at third, but the throw is dropped by Leo Gomez. Boy, the runner, DeShields, took too big a turn at first, and they almost had him in a rundown, but then Castro was shaking loose at third.
Well, once again, bad execution on the part of the Cubs. Joey Malfitano is not going to run on the arm of Sammy Sosa, but a bad base running play by Delino DeShields as Magadan cuts it off and then makes a very bad throw wide of the bag at third. Castro able to get back, and the Cubs have runners at second and third, still only one out.
And it brings up Roger Cedeno. Cedeno doubled in the first, tried to reach on a bunt in the third, and was retired 1-3. 1 ball, no strikes. Bottenfield is up in the bullpen.
Kent Bottenfield had 18 saves, AAA.
2 balls and no strikes now on Roger Cedeno.
Bottenfield has been around, started in 1986 in the Gulf Coast League. Later reaching the major leagues with Montreal, Colorado, San Francisco. Signed a free agent contract with Iowa, and here he is in the major leagues.
Fair ball down the right field line. Castro scores. Here comes DeShields. And into second base, sliding with a double, is Roger Cedeno, and the Dodgers take the lead 3-2.
RBIs 13 and 14 for Cedeno. He gets a high slider, and he turns on it, driving it right down the line past Magadan, and runs himself into his second double of the day. So for the first time today, the Cubs are trailing.
Still only one out, still a runner in scoring position, and Mike Piazza comes to the plate. He's grounded out twice here today. One game coming up later today in the National League. That'll be Florida at San Francisco. One game later today in the American League. That has Toronto at Seattle. Right here, the Cubs now trailing 3-2. Roger Cedeno at second base, and Piazza at the plate. One ball, no strikes.
After the throwing error, Mike Piazza committed, allowing the second run to come in. You'd have to feel that he is very dangerous after going 0 for 2. He'll be looking for the ball away. That's his strength, right and right center field.
To center field, Brian McRae right there, 2 men down, and the runner holds at second. You mentioned Piazza so good at going with pitches to the opposite field, and Fred Clare, the general manager of the ball club, mentioned to me last night, he said that you know, one of the things that's helped the middle guys in our order, Karros and Mondesi, who are struggling, is that they're starting to go with the pitch a little bit more, go the opposite way a little bit more with it. And not necessarily does it help their power, but it at least gets them on track and on base, which is something they had really been struggling with. Both guys, when we saw this team in April, were down around the Mendoza line. 2 outs, runner on, and Eric Karros stands in, and he takes a pitch for strike call.
We saw last night in one at bat, Karros went to right field with the base hit.
Karros got the average up to 240 now coming into today's game. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, Karros such a big part of this lineup. He's very strong. Last year at 298, 32 home runs, 105 driven in 143 games. But he was hurt in spring training, and he got off to a terrible start.
The 0-2 delivery. It's inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I believe he only got about 10 at-bats in spring training, if I remember that story correctly.
He had assorted ailments. And there's Bill Russell and Tommy Lasorda.
1-2 pitch. Popped it up. Back behind home plate on the third base side. The wind blows it back into play, and Scott Servais makes the catch to retire the side. But the Dodgers pick up 3 runs to take the lead on 3 hits, no errors, and a man left. Heading to the bottom of the 5th. Dodgers now lead 3-2.
On the Parenthood, the Petersons are trapped in the no chroma zone.
Snap out of it because I ain't wearing no dress.
Wednesday at 7:30 on WGN Channel 9.
At Michelin, we believe a tire that's just good in the rain isn't good enough. Introducing the Michelin X1 with a 6-year unlimited mileage tread life warranty. It's the one tire that gives you better wet traction than any rain tire, plus control in any driving condition. After all, it hasn't rained that much in years. The Michelin X1.
Someone you don't know could have a key to your home. Now no one can steal your code. Introducing the most secure Genie ever, the Genie IntelliCode Garage Door Opener. Genie. It only obeys one master.
Rust-Oleum, the ultimate defense against weather.
Sir, I'm not feeling very well. I'm going home to rest. I should be fine in the morning, though.
If you're playing baseball hooky, you need a baseball hooky-mobile from your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer. Like the award-winning Plymouth Voyager, with room for 7 people with Cubs fever for this great price, which will leave you with plenty of hot dog money. Official baseball hooky-mobiles only from the stars of Cubbyland, your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer.
On Sister, Tamara's going unplugged for her first recital.
Warning, this scene may cause severe audio damage to your television. Wednesday at 7 on WGN Channel 9.
Praise around this town, at least today. Bottom of the 5th inning, 3-2 Dodgers on top, and Jose Hernandez leads it off, bounces it right back to Martinez. He makes the play.
Ramon Martinez now on for the 8th time, and you might remember the last time he was at Wrigley Field. He was running down the first base line, pulled a groin muscle. That put him on the shelf for a while, so this only his 8th start. He has yet to complete a game. He actually is averaging just a little over 5 innings per start.
Amaury Telemaco takes strike 1 call. Telemaco struck out in the 3rd inning. That injury you spoke of to Martinez happened on a very cold Saturday afternoon, if I'm not mistaken. And
well, he took a quick step out of the box trying to beat out what he thought would have been a base hit, and that's when he pulled the groin muscle. But that bullpen for the Dodgers has been spectacular of late.
Telemaco still down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes.
Look at some of the ERAs. Guthrie at 120. Osuna 158. Chan-Ho Park 209. Scott Radinsky 050. And Todd Worrell with the 20 saves at 307. And the bullpen has kept them afloat.
Yeah, some of those guys haven't given up a run in a month.
Talking with Vin Scully, he said that obviously we're not hitting, obviously we're not getting on base all that often, but the bullpen has given up nothing.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Amaury showing a pretty good eye.
Well, he figured, Wayne, he couldn't hit that one anyway, so he might as well take it and hope to get the break from Larry Vanover.
You're right. Here's the 2-2. On the ground to the shortstop, Juan Castro. 2 men down. 2 out, nobody on. For the top of the order, Brian McRae, who was 2 for 2 today. A couple of singles. Brian's going to give his pitcher a little time to get back to the dugout.
Well, Amaury, at 22 years old, probably still has plenty of strength left. And Brian has had a pretty good swing here.
Strike 1 called on the outside corner to Brian McRae. Ishmael Valdez will go tomorrow for the Dodgers. The 0-1 delivery. Sounded like he broke his bat, and in fact he did. As he hammered that one foul.
I think he chipped the end of it. So he'll go back to get another one.
There's that'll be the pitcher in the second game this afternoon for the Dodgers. You know, we're talking about pitching last night. Would Martinez come back? Would the loss of the game last night burn 2 starters, Campbell and Martinez, and